Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Barry, that Gold Medal Show. Over here with Tone, Joker, NYC, Rich the Silent Producer, with the Minister of War, Drucifer himself from Texas, joining us. And we're just so happy to have you on the show with us. Drew, has been a long time coming. Thank goodness that finally that Gold Medal Show has graduated to doing shit like this. I mean, people have been asking us to want to do things like this, and it took a lot of these old men to really figure out shit, and we finally figured it out, man. Thanks for coming on to us.
Oh, dude,
Appreciate it.
thanks a lot for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, how's everything going down there in the great state of Texas, man?
Well, we're in that perfect state of like the weather right now, so it's going from like scorching ass heat to kind of like slow roasting you in an oven kind of heat. So as we move into October, it's this is my time of the year, man. Halloween's coming up. I've been out with the family all day, and one of our last stops was the Halloween shop. And dude, anytime the Halloween shops are open, I'm like, yeah, this is my time of year, man. And the weather's way better getting there.
All right, cool, man. That's that, man. That's just the way, Hey, and over here in my house is the same way. My wife is already, as a matter of fact, she's off this week, and that's all she's doing right now. She's been like, I gotta stay out of her way when she's
Mm.
taking all the Halloween decorations. So she's getting busy and doing whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever works. So I
Sweet.
so I want to get it over to the guys, man. Start rapid firing you before we when we do end the interview. Of course, Scar might have something to say to you. So we'll
Yeah, I'm
say,
gonna try to duck out before we get to Scar, but y'all go ahead.
that's not gonna happen, man. Sorry.
He's not gonna let me.
It's not gonna happen. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, you probably got some freaking some units already hanging around your house now since you didn't put the VPN on in time.
I know. I was telling them before we started here, man. I should have done my fake background of like a coffee shop and my man bun wig, and I had my latte and my fucking my typewriter with Wi-Fi. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah,
Some dumb shit like that. The typewriter with the Wi-Fi adaptation.
that's gonna be
Yeah,
Spirit
but
Halloween costume, the man bun wig with Drucifer.
yeah. So everybody, all the kids are going to be wearing the Drusifer man bun outfit for Halloween. I imagine though that gif you always send a Scar sharpening his claws. I imagine right off screen is what he's doing while he watches.
Yeah. Right now, he's just on the side listening. Literally, if I can pan the camera, he's literally on the side with his ear like over here. So I'll leave him be. All right. So yo, Rich, man, you want to get off over here? Give some questions over to my man Drew.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us today. And we're gonna talk a little bit about your project, your Iron Casket, your side projects, any other upcoming things. But usually, one of the first questions that I like to ask our guests is, how did you get into metal? How was it like growing up in Texas? Like, what drew you towards the extreme music that you play today?
Good. Yeah, that was getting into extreme music was a long process for me. When I started when I was 15 playing guitar. There was this kid at school that came, and I went at the time I was at a private Christian school. So this kid showed up with an acoustic guitar, and he was a dick. I hated the guy, but he like sat in class and played, and I was just kind of struck by like, he's holding all the chords and everything while he's strumming, and it's like it's like a really like pussy song, and he's like wanting to cry while he's singing, but it's still I'm focused on like he's strumming the chords, and I'm just kind of like, how does he know where to put his hands? Like I never even thought about that before. So I was like, man, I want to get a guitar. And kind of like a long story short, when I ended up getting a guitar, I would just kind of played anything that had guitar in it. Like at the time in the early 2000s, I know you guys were around in the prime time of like really good music, but I wasn't. So like starting to play in like the early 2000s was like anything on the radio, which is, like alt rock, like crap, not heavy, nothing like brutal or anything. But I started playing like that kind of stuff. And my mom saw I was like, okay, he's staying with it. And so she started ordering me all the guitar magazines, like subscriptions. So I would get Guitar One, Guitar World, and everything. And they would have the tabs in the back where you could like learn the songs or whatever. So that kind of helped get me into like more classic rock and some shit like that. And eventually I got a magazine. That's why I have it framed over here, because this is for me like a big like paradigm shift for me. It has Zach Wilde on the front cover.
Awesome. Good.
And dude, and I just like I'm holding this thing. I'm listening to this like pansy ass like alt rock that was like everything on the radio, because I didn't have an older brother that was into metal. I didn't have the uncle or anything like that. And metal was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. And I see that, and this dude looks like a Viking, and he's holding up the guitar. He's just like fucking crazy. And I start reading the interviews, and I go, at the time, it was like you downloaded music and you had to like basically risk giving your computer AIDS to get like a song. Yeah, so did that, listened to a couple of the songs, and when I heard the guitar solos, I was like, dude, what the, like, there's nothing like that on the radio in like 2003 or whatever. And then I got into that, and then like a little bit later through that, I got into like Pantera, and another just like great fucking guitar player. And once I, like a little after Pantera, right around that time, I got into Slayer. And once I got into Slayer, it was like, dude, like the door was knocked off the hinges for like all this fucking death metal and crazy ass thrash, black metal and shit. So just, I guess progressively it just got like heavier and heavier, but I always like the shit that had an emphasis on not only just heaviness, but fucking riffs. I love riffs. And when you have like lead players who can do this crazy shit, I was like, this is the one for me. Like, fuck everything else. Everybody else is listening, like rap and like this alternative rock and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck all that. I want more of this. I want to go this route as far as I can. And then just so give it enough time, eventually you end up at fucking war metal. So I guess that's how I got here.
The final chapter.
Yeah, the final chapter.
It's funny you say that because it just seems like even in the earlier stages of when Slayer was around in the 80s, all the way through to whatever generation that people got into Slayer, Slayer always seemed to be that stepping stone to get people more into, like, just like a drug. You take this drug and, oh my God, let me go try this crack. So there you go. It just ends up getting more aggressive and more, so look, no matter what people talk about Slayer, look, I'm not too much of a fan of how Slayer, later on, their thing, but we're always going to appreciate what Slayer was and what they influenced.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like so many, you listen to even all those early like death metal bands and stuff, like all of them would be like, well, dude, Show No Mercy, Hell Awaits, Haunting the Chapel.
Yeah.
They all say that shit for a reason, man. Like you listen to that, and I try to imagine what it would have been like I was born in 87 and I wasn't into this shit till like way later on. But I imagine like being into like hard rock, heavy metal, and listening to that shit around like 1983, 82, 83, 84, and like hearing that shit for the first time, that just has to be like, fucking crazy, man. It has to be like hearing, I imagine also the other one would be like, I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan. So I always try to imagine like being around in like, there's the hippies in the 60s, and then 1970, you hear the song Black Sabbath. I just imagine like what's the heaviest thing out at that point? Yeah, like there's some Zeppelin stuff, there's some Deep Purple. But I was like, motherfuckers are like, they're like, oh no, the Beatles just broke up. And there's like, I Want to Hold Your Hand or fucking Children of the Grave. I'm like, dude, this is just like worlds apart, man. Like this had to have been like something that was obviously different.
Yeah, it had to be like what you just said about Slayer. That's what those people must have felt when they heard Black Sabbath. Because nobody was doing those kind of riffs. That's my favorite band of all time was them. And when I first heard it, that was maybe 11 or 10 or 12 when I heard that shit. Because me and my cousin are huge wrestling fans, and we used to watch the Road Warriors come in with Iron Man. Oh man, we were like, oh, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
these dudes look like the apocalypse is about to start with the Road Warriors. It was
yeah.
You got a question, too?
No, I want to ask Drew something real quick because I was feeding off your question, Rich. As far as what he was mentioning about getting into guitar, I have to say, and I think I mentioned it to you, and look, I'll give you praises about your guitar playing with your picking. That is the most unbelievable picking I have ever seen. I don't care. And look, right now I see your head is swelling up a little bit over to the screen, but that's okay. I said it to a lot of people. I said, yo, Drucifer's picking is the most complex looking picking I've ever seen in my life. And how did you come up with that style?
Dude, and the thing is, until I started joining bands like way later on, I pretty much, I spent a lot of time in my 20s playing shit and just like practicing my ass off. Like when I first started playing, dude, I was playing like 6 to 10 hours a day, like every day. Fucking dropped out of like the rest of life, and like going and hanging out with friends and stuff is like, fuck everybody, I want to do this. Quitting sports, just doing this. But I didn't even know that it was a unique thing until people started like pointing it out like way later on, especially once you start playing really fast shit. You start doing like some real like trim stuff. To me, I always looked at it like at the time that I was doing all that, it was like a little later in the Slayer era. And I used to watch like Jeff Hanneman, and he would pick, and his fucking whole forearm is playing like, dude, they're playing Rain and Blood at like live speeds. It's like crazy fucking fast. Like, how the hell is that not wearing your arm out? So I guess like subconsciously was like, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I was like, let's keep this shit simple. So I'm kind of just picking like that and just doing that and playing like Slayer riffs and like death metal, especially like first wave death metal. Playing that shit just all the time. It just became like every time I pick up a pick and I start playing anything with trim picking, like that's how I play. But it wasn't until like way later, I guess putting videos online and shit, like people started pointing out, like, dude, what the fuck is that all about? I was like, I didn't even think it was different. It was to me, it was like the easier way to play.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. I get, because like, look, I used to play bass, so I understand as far as the picking part of it. I wish I could have done with my finger, like be like a Cliff Burton and shit, but then to see you how you were doing it, it's like you wasn't even it wasn't like you wasn't even stroking with your wrist. It was all fingers, and I'm like, wow, that is amazing, man. I like I said, I give you a lot of props for that. I really do.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Glad somebody likes it.
Scar likes it too.
Yeah. I got a quick question to ask you. You released a 5-song, band cassette. How did that come about?
Well, it was originally supposed to be 5. It ended up being 3. There was 3 bands. Yeah, it was 3 bands on it. And okay, so the guy from Propagator Propaganda, his name's Rico. They're from Germany. He had hit me up, and I'm trying to remember exactly how that started, but he had hit me up and was talking about like, hey, maybe if you do something in the future, we could put it out. And I was like, dude, that's like a foot in the door for getting anything out in like Europe, because you know how it is over here. It's like, dude, you gotta pay like out, at the ass to ship something over there, and half the time if you ship it over there, I'm like, I'm really unfamiliar with the process to the point I'm like, dude, I don't want anybody to lose their package or anything like that. And I have no idea how that international stuff like that goes. But he hit me up and he was like, we could originally it was like put out an album, which we might still do in the future. But then I was like, okay, I just put out the first album in June of 2023. And I was like, at the time we were talking, it'd only been like 6 months. So I was like, it'll be a little while, because I'm just doing that as a side project. Iron Casket is pretty much like a side project. And eventually he hit me up and he was like, well, I got some other bands that might be interested in splits. And at that time I had like checked out his page, and Propagator Propaganda, it's like some real heavy, like full on fucking like war metal shit. So I was like, oh man, a lot of this stuff is really good, like war metal and black metal and stuff. And he's like, we got some other guys. And he mentioned in the split, Serenios. And Serenios, I had listened some of their stuff off of Anti-Human Productions, and I was like, oh, that band's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, I got some of it.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll jump on that. I was like, how many tracks do you need? And he like hit me up with that, and he was like, he'll take care of everything. He'll just send me some copies, and he'll sell those in Europe. So I was like, cool. He's the guy that hit me up out of the blue. He does a zine over there. He's been real cool. We chat every once in a while through email and everything. He's a really nice guy. I haven't had any problems with him. So.
Oh, but you ever plan to release it here, like for more people to get it here in America? Because it's very hard to get here. You only have 5 copies the last time I remembered.
Yeah, those all sold out in like the first stream. That's what I told them. I was like, dude, I
didn't get a chance. Freaking Tone and Shredbeard ended up getting. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, everybody said, everybody. Oh, he's got one. Look at it.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then I winded up making a copy for more.
Oh yeah, he was telling me that. I was thinking, I was like, when was it that he was telling me he got like a bootleg copy of it? Oh, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I would do. I would, for obviously I can't. Probably, I don't know. Like legally, I wouldn't want to anyways. Fuck with the other guys, those other bands. I wouldn't want to, fuck with their material or whatever. But the songs that I did for that, I would definitely include them on something in the future. I mean, I write that stuff kind of whenever I get a chance, and if I come up with like 5, 6, 7 more songs or whatever, I'll just add those 3 to it, or maybe if I just want to release those 3 and maybe one new one or something, I'll make a little EP or something. But yeah, they'll definitely, if people wait around, like I have no plans to do anything with it right now, but if anybody wants to wait around and they really want those, they're not going to waste. I mean, they'll go on to something. So
yeah, and
it'll be CD.
Oh, so you were just saying that Iron Casket is really your side project out of your band?
That's all the just me. That's I do all that, like here in this room. I'll program the drums, I'll write these riffs, and I do the vocals, bass. I just do everything like in-house right here. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, the shirt is nice.
Yeah.
Look at that wonderful merch. I wonder who does that, man. That guy must be
I
amazing.
don't know. But I know that son of a bitch made this shirt too. And my only complaint is I washed it one time and the sleeves fell off of it.
Oh no,
It's
not made for muscular Texan muscles, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot the golden rule. Me and my cousin and Bear, we need to rip our sleeves or we're posers, man.
Yeah. That's the rule. Listen, kids, everybody watching the fucking show right now, if you have sleeves on your shirt, you need to rip them off immediately.
Yes.
Everybody's rolling them up.
Yeah, like, ugh.
Right?
No, it's just, I mean, and people have asked about that too. Is like, why are you always cutting the sleeves off? It's like, dude, if you lived here, you'd probably understand. It's just so fucking hot. The sleeves get on my goddamn nerves, man. I'll wear them. Some of them, I call them dress shirts. If I leave sleeves on a shirt, to me, that's a dress shirt. Like my fucking Kai Conqueror King, I left the sleeves on that, and I told Paul, I was like, dude, I consider that a fucking. He's honored. He says he's honored. I'm like, hey, it's a fucking dress shirt. If I went to church, I'd wear that shit to church.
So, like you said, that the sleeves you cut them off because of the way it is in Texas. We keep them because up here in New York, we can't.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, we have the wife and I have a walk-in closet in our room, and she has like a section this big, and the rest is just fucking black sleeveless shirts, like as far as you go. So, and the thing is, man, if I lived anywhere, I used to love wearing hoodies. But I have to be like in a refrigerator basically to wear a hoodie down here. So I would have a whole stock of fucking band hoodies. But that's one thing I'm kind of envious of you guys. I prefer cold weather, but I also love like light jacket weather.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be hitting pretty soon.
Wait.
Dude, that's like here, that's like maybe 2 months out of the year. And even then, that's kind of scattered. So it's not very often you get to wear jackets here.
Drew, I have to ask you because you just said something that sounded kind of like outlandish to me. Okay, you actually have a walk-in closet where you have most of your wardrobe more than your wife?
I do. And she will admit it.
I just walked in. I wanted her to hear that because I just wanted that, like, there's actually a man who has, a walk-in closet that's took over his. I just wanted to hear it and let her hear it too,
The dream is real, fellas. It does exist. It exists here in my house, in my closet.
You know what? I'll give you that. Scar, you're gonna have to take away a war pigeon for him. All right, he's cool. Okay.
Yeah, give me a break, Scar. Come on, man.
Right? All right.
And you can definitely tell the difference because my wife's shit is all like colorful and white, and then it's just a sea of fucking like nihilist black, like all the way down the side of that fucking closet.
Funny.
Oh man, yeah, that's the thing. My wife says the same thing. She goes, "Oh, what you gonna wear? A black shirt? That's just a black shirt. Yeah, that's it. A black shirt. Yeah, it's gonna be a black shirt.
Hey,
you gotta be a little stylish like me. See, I gotta.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. When I every once in a while, it's another occasion thing. Some shirts I'll leave the sleeves on. Those are dress shirts. But I also have this Goat Metal Show shirt that is white.
Oh yeah, the white one. Yeah.
Dude, I normally that's for me, like if I'm going to like mow the lawn, if I'm gonna like something like if I'm working out in the garage, if I'm doing anything like that, I'm like, that's the fucking go-to. I was like, because it's light, I'll be kind of cool. Plus it doesn't have some like something weak on it. That Never Surrender Destroyer 666 shirt's great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I would rock that one as well. But yeah, I have like 3 white shirts and 2 of them are at the bottom of the drawer buried underneath black. So I got the walk-in closet, and then I got a dresser. I've just been buying too many band shirts.
So we're gonna ask you also about I know that you're working on a particular side project with Morded Red, a little thing, and we wanted to know what was the update with that, if that was coming out maybe this year, next year, or something. How's the progression on that project?
Well, it's definitely coming. The only thing that was kind of I guess you could say a road bump, but we knew Revik had been working on the Morden Red full length that just came out. So I told him, and he was kind of clear with that right off the bat. And I was like, dude, totally, that needs to be priority. This is just like a fun thing. I was like, it's already got like a speed metal band I'm in. I do the Iron Casket thing, doing all these fucking videos and stuff, and then have like I have like a 2-year-old, so I'm like, well, I got plenty of shit to fill my fucking day. So we'll just kind of do this as we go. And I wrote some demo tracks, and his whole thing is like, he's not only doing vocals, he wants to do drums. So I sent him, I wrote out the songs, recorded like demos, sent them over. and like he sent them back, and so they have like he has like his drums that he recorded, and then him doing his vocals and everything. So it's sounding really fucking cool, but it's straight war metal. So it's like Morden Red meets Iron Casket.
Oh man,
yeah, it's really fucking good so far. Yeah, so far. When it'll come out, I don't know. He's hit me back up. You know, they just put out their Morden Red release, so I think we'll probably get back into that before long. And there's not too much work left to do on it. We're going to debate whether or not I want to like go back and layer in, because I do guitar and bass on it. And I haven't done any leads for it. It was like I wanted to do his vocals, and then once it gets back to me, it's like it open spots, whatever. I'll just throw leads in or whatever. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming out. I don't know when, but it'll be out before too long. That's for sure.
Did you guys figure out a name for the band yet?
Yeah, I was waiting for if he wanted to announce it. I'll let him name it. It will be AIDS Goat.
Yeah.
Oh,
AIDS. Yeah, he had told me that before.
I
didn't know you wanted to tell anybody yet.
Yeah, so his AIDS Goat's what he came up with, because originally he wanted to call it AIDS Spreader. But then he was thinking, he's like, yeah, but it's war metal, man. It's like, we gotta have a goat. So it's like,
yeah,
fucking works, man.
I can't wait to see how that t-shirt's gonna look like.
Yeah, and he's wanting to do, for at least one of the tracks, he's wanting to do a video for it too, so that ought to be fun.
Oh, crazy to know in his mind. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's man. That's the one where you guys are going to the Blue Oyster, right?
That's right. Well, to be fair, we were going there anyways, and he was like, well, we're already here, so we might as well film the video.
Shoot the video.
Yeah.
Oh man. But
another one, Tom?
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I got another one. What you call? I wanted to ask you. And now we all know that you're big into war metal. That's practically what you're known for. And I just wanted to pick your head on five bands that you think have kept the spirit alive of war metal, modern bands from now. We already know all the what you call the ones that started it, but I want to know your opinion right now. What bands you think are up there that deserve to be heard?
Well, I'm trying to think 5 newer ones. The obvious first one that comes to my mind is Antichrist Siege Machine.
Yes, man.
That would be for me, that's probably first and foremost of the new ones. A lot of them, like, I'm not even too sure how old Diocletian is from New Zealand. They're fucking amazing. I know they're still putting out new releases. They're not like a brand new band, but I'm not actually too sure how old they are. Death Worship from Canada would be another one. Ryan Forrester has ties to Blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that's speaking of that's kind of tied to Blasphemy and from Canada would have to be Revenge. Revenge, though, for me, there are a lot of war metal bands that I prefer to Revenge, but Revenge still definitely has. I mean, as far as like big bands in the genre, that one is, I would say, huge, like really fucking big. I think other ones off the top of my head. I know a lot of people like Abysmal Lord. I think they're from Louisiana. Yeah, Abysmal Lords. Yeah, they're good. They're not one of my tops. My top for me was Goat Penis, but now they're done. Yeah, they just had a couple of guys die. Sabaoth and Virigus both are dead now, so they're out.
Yeah. So that what happens, eventually after you keep listening to them, like, what, you start bleeding, like, you got to make it real, right? Like, damn, band members are dying. What's going on?
So, Drusifer, you forgot one that made me keep watching your channel. Atomic Goat.
Oh yeah, fucking that one. Yeah,
moving closer, Tom.
Yeah, that was perfect, man. Atomic Goat Exterminium is the name of that EP. That's the only thing that band has put out so far. They're from Ecuador.
Yeah,
that band is fucking amazing, dude. That right there that's awesome.
Yeah, I was watching your video and I said, whoa, when I heard this shit, I said, he's gonna be on top of my list watching all the time and stuff. Man. Yeah, great band.
Stream that you did, and where you were playing a lot of different war metal and black metal and mixed. But you played one particular band that stood out that really caught my ear. And I discovered them through your channel, and that was Santa Sangre. Do you remember?
That's the one from Texas, right?
Yeah.
I have that album here somewhere. Yeah, I learned about them. I think it was through El Necron's channel on because he plays
very raw, very very brutal, hard raw, like
Yeah,
War
a
metal.
really good band. He had played, he plays a lot of stuff that kind of like, I guess, like borders on war metal, but he likes plenty of war metal, but he's really good about shining light because he's from Texas too. He shines light on some of like the real underground bands from here, and I was always like, man, any of these like war metal bands that are actually from Texas, I would love to hear more of them. It don't really matter where they're from, but it's just like if they're from here, I might actually get to see them.
Yeah.
No, it's funny that you mentioned Texas because that led me to one of my main questions. Being that you're out there and you're associated in the YouTube scene and going out to shows, what bands currently you think are rising and representing Texas to the fullest? It doesn't have to just be war metal, but anything in general that really stands out right now currently.
I would tell you one that I really like. It's not war metal. It's almost like death punk. Is the band Wolf Skull. Wolf Skull from here in Houston. The vocalist is Dave Herrera from Imprecation. Oh, look at that.
Harry has it. Nice.
Yeah. I just got my Mortar Red CD, so this came in there. So I was like already saying, oh man, I gotta check these guys out.
Yeah, they're good, man. I like their Satanic Death Militia EP is really good. I think it's Health Shock is the first one. They just did a split with Hexella, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they're really good. Of the bands in the kind of the local scene that I like, and I never hear anybody talk about them, but I like the band Thunder Tank. Thunder Tank plays around here. They're
I'm not familiar
cool dudes. Yeah, I don't think many people even outside of Houston are, but yeah, they're really good. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head that would really like represent Texas. I don't know, man. I guess you just got to listen to a lot of Iron Casket.
Yeah, man. Figured Francisco with ETD, Necron with Pius Levis, Noelia with Hexella, and that band Iron Casket.
Yeah, that band Iron Casket, little old band from Texas, Iron Casket. Yeah, Pius Levis is great. That's Necron's band. He's also in Hod. If y'all are familiar with Hod.
Yeah, he sent me a CD of that. His band.
Yeah, well. Pius Levis, I actually just saw them at Destroying Texas Fest. Pius Levis was great live. He's got a really good band, man. All the shit that they've done. With Joaba, with Francisco, I know he has ETD, which is great. He also played at Destroying Texas Fest with the band Necroblade, and they were awesome. I don't know if he's a normal member because the way it was kind of explained to me was like he was filling in on bass. I don't know. He might be a normal member. I think he's in a lot of projects. He's also in Cemeterian, which is really good. Tomb of Morbid Stench is one of the EPs that they've put out. I think he's in a lot of bands, though. I get the impression he does a lot. He stretches himself out quite a bit, and everything I've heard that he's involved in is really good. So
yeah, that's what I heard too. Real quick, don't forget tomorrow is Necron's birthday.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, he's doing a live stream, so
okay,
got a chance to watch.
Yeah, I'll have to. Oh, I gotta go throw him some cash or something. He's a cool dude, and I will say this also: like any of these guys that I've met, I don't know when I'll ever be in New York. I've never been in New York, but if I am, definitely gonna have to hang out with you guys. But I have met, obviously, I've hung out with Revik several times. El Necron, cool fucking dude. Met him, shook his hand, talked to him, and everything like that. No bullshit from any of them, man. Everybody that I know, Aaron from Goat Throwing Records, I've bumped into him several times. Frazier's cool. Frazier Dawson, like all those guys they're everyone that I've met has been fucking cool. Like nobody's been a dick. So
nice.
It's nice. Really.
Is it true that I heard that? I mean, could be a rumor that Frazier is starting some ultimate fucking grotesque death metal band. Is that true?
I'm not the guy to ask. I wouldn't know.
I'm just hearing rumors. I heard he went on stage, he did some vocals, and now I don't know. I'm just National Enquiring News. That's what
National Enquirer from the Goat Metal Show. No, all I know is every time he comes into one of my like live streams and I play war metal, he's like, "Dear God, shut this off! What the fuck is this?" So I don't know. Maybe he'll front a war metal band. Who knows? Yeah, that's what the world needs.
That's what it is. Maybe he hears it and then he'll surprise you.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. That's for sure.
Oh man, but basically with that being said, as far as like you doing all these different projects, I mean you got Iron Casket, you got your speed thrash band going, the Mortar Red. Is there anything else outside of I mean, outside of any other genre? You said, you know what, I want to try that.
If I did, it would probably be like something solo. Like there's old original tracks on my channel. If you go, I think I still have it in playlist. I remember when I did El Necron's show, he had pulled one of them up, like when he's on. It's not metal at all. It's kind of almost like groovy rock or whatever.
Okay.
But these are old. I mean, I love shit like that. Like I love I'm sure you guys are familiar with the guy Buckethead,
yeah,
guitar player.
Yeah.
One of my fucking favorite. I think that's like the greatest living fucking guitar player in terms of just like ability and virtuosity. Mm-hmm. Like, so I'll listen to some of that shit, and it's not, some of it's not metal like at all. But I just kind of like, bask in the awesomeness of this guy who can. I've seen him live twice, and I'm just like, dude, this is like a person that can do fucking anything with this goddamn instrument. So I might do something like that, but I would probably do it on my own. I don't think it would be enough for me to. You guys have been in bands. You know how it is. You got to get like fucking everybody on the same page. Everybody has to like the same shit or something at least close, and then they have to all show up to practice and be reliable and all that kind of stuff. And you always got one guy that's into drugs or something, and you're just like, oh. Either that or he's like fucking henpecked and pussy whipped and shit, and it's like, she won't let me come out to play.
That's always the case.
Or you have a crazy guy like Dr. Death or drummer.
Yeah, that drives the car through the middle of the band room or some shit like that. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean,
yeah. So it would probably all just be like solo, just me again with like a drum machine or something.
All right. Yeah. Good. It's good.
So and based on like your projects that you've done, do you think that you have any intentions of maybe booking any live shows in the future, like in the horizon, or you just still, just working on stuff?
Well, with Iron Casket, it was kind of again, that was like a side thing. I never really had any plans to do it. If I ever did it live, I would have to get guys to come on and play. And I wouldn't want to do just, I always like admire the guys that do the one-man band thing, and they have like the drums and like, you guys familiar with the band Putrid Pile?
Yes.
It's like death metal,
So
it's like
just that one guy.
Yeah, it's just like a one guy out. To me, there was something about that. Insidious Decrepancy from Houston was another one. Just those guys that can get up and they do fucking everything. They have the guitar and they're doing vocals, but they have like drums pre-programmed. I always liked that idea, but at the same time, I'm like, if I went out, I think I would do more of the Joel Grind, Toxic Holocaust, or Athanar for Midnight, where they like, they have guys come out and like learn the songs. And when you're playing live, you kind of want to see a stage full of fucking people running around and making noise. So I'm like, I would have to do that. But with Infuriator is the speed metal band that I'm in. And we're a 3-piece, and that's what all this shit is back here, because we actually practice in here. And that we actually do go out and play shows. We play shows. Our next show is in New Orleans in late October 26th, I think. So yeah, we do like basically a show a month. And now our singer had quit, so now I'm singing the past 3 shows. I've been doing vocals. So everything going on now will be the 3 of us. I do guitar, vocals. Then we have a drummer who's kind of like a D-beat drummer. He's originally from Michigan. He's a year younger than me, a year or 2 younger than me. He's real into metal, real knowledgeable, but he used to book shows up there at one of the bars. But he does like a D-beat and stuff, and then we have another dude on bass. So it's like the 3 of us, and that's what we actually, to kind of scratch that itch. You guys know how it is. Like when you want to actually go out, you want to present the fucking music to a crowd. That's really like what the speed metal band is. Infuriator. That's what that's
nice.
For.
Yeah.
And what I was going to tell you. Yeah, there was all right. I know you listen to war metal, but do you, other bands that with war theme? What are your favorite ones?
Bands with war theme. The first one that come to my mind when you say that is Sodom.
Yeah,
I fucking love Sodom, man. I speed metal, thrash, whatever. That stuff is actually like that's my favorite. Anything like where it's got a root in like being really fucking fast, but you throw some black metal, you throw some death metal, anything like that, kind of make it a bit more like edgy. That sort of shit is my favorite. Another one would be, again off the top of my head, Minenwerfer. I talk about them. I talk about them on the channel all the time, man. Black metal band from California here. It's all World War I themed. That was a huge influence on the Iron Casket stuff. Fucking great band, man. War themed. it happens to be that there's quite a few bands that do pretty good with the war theme, man. God Dethroned. You guys familiar with God Dethroned?
Yeah, been around for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, God Dethroned had a section of their albums that was dedicated to like World War One. They have The World's Ablaze, Under the Sign of the Iron Cross, and Passchendaele. Those three albums are all just World War One themed. Fucking really good stuff. Obviously, I mean, war themed metal. A lot of the Bolt Thrower stuff falls into that camp as well.
True. Yeah, and stuff. You know, and don't forget Intel.
That's right. Yeah, Instill's great. There's some of that black metal shit that has that kind of theme. I don't know why, man. I've always gravitated to that, and even with the obviously the Iron Casket stuff is all war metal, and it's all war themed. That whole first album is World War One themed, and even all the new shit. Now that I do vocals for Infuriator, everything that's going to be written now is I told them like straight out the bat, it's all going to be war. It's all like, every time I actually like write songs, I'm like that's my lane. I'm like Glenn Benton, he'd like fuck Jesus, that's his lane. So like for me, it's just like mass murder, like killing people over all these crazy wars, bombs. There's all these different ways to do it. Fucking rows of tanks, nukes, whatever it is like that's the theme.
Nice.
Do you prefer to do World War One or World War Two? Which one of the two?
I would prefer to do. I would do either for sure. For that one, the goal was strictly World War One, but I would never rule out a World War Two. I like the idea. I did that. That Where Iron Death Roams is like a concept. It's all World War One.
Yeah.
So maybe I would do it. Maybe in the future I would do like a World War Two, but I might just do a batch of. So even like wars that would be maybe like a, I don't know, almost like fantasy element, like future dystopian kind of like people rising up under a shitty government and like taking care of that. A lot of stuff you see in sci-fi movies. Maybe I would do something like that, but something realistic. Not like I don't know.
Pretty interesting. I mean,
Well, the thing is though, when you look at it, I mean, wars have been going on since we started like keeping track in the fucking books, so it's like it's not like there's a shortage of wars that I could pull inspiration from if I wanted to do that. So that might be a really cool route to go.
Yeah, I thought about something about something war themed because I mentioned about my grandfather was in World War II in the Korean War, and if anybody knows their history about the Korean War, there was a part, I think, what was it? They were the United States. They had a line in the peninsula, and they got ambushed by the Chinese, and they got massacred. It was a massacre. So my grandfather was actually a part of that unit, and they murdered I don't know how many Americans in that thing, and my grandfather and a few others were the only ones that survived. They were under the dead bodies of their friends. So again, this is, and I still don't know how my grandfather came back sane. I still wonder about that. And I said, that would be an interesting topic to talk about, something war themed, something like that. That's like, you don't hear about those things no more.
Yeah. And that's, from my standpoint, I think one of the reasons when I try to think about it, one of the reasons that that's so interesting to me is because, dude, what's more real than that?
That's true.
What's more real than like motherfuckers having to like hide under piles of dead bodies to not get like bayoneted to death by like their enemy during warfare? And the fact that this is just going on for like fucking ever, man. And there's no end in sight. I don't know. Like to me, that's the heaviest topic. I mean, I just, so I know some people do. I'm a heathen atheist. I don't believe in God or the devil or demons or any of that. I think it's fucking awesome as like imagery for music and shit. But I don't actually see all that stuff as being real. I could be fucking wrong, but war is definitely real. War is like people going to battle with each other, and like some of these wars are so bad you have to round the body count to the nearest tens of millions.
That's true.
That's how many people fucking die in these things, and these are like World War One, especially. It's like people in trenches, like they're lobbing gas attacks, and you can't even fucking breathe without dying. Rats are eating your dead friends, and it's just the most metal shit that I can even think of. So
yeah, you have gore in it. If you're into the thing, some politics if some people are into it, and what you call, and you like you say, you can never run out of wars. So you go all the way down to the Roman times. You can write about stuff like that. This is a topic, yeah, and it's all real.
Yeah, and then the other side of that too is like Barry was saying, his grandpa coming back with like, how the hell do you go back to a normal life after experiencing that? Yeah, my grandpa was in Korea. He was in the Navy. He was 16, but he lied to him and said he was 18.
Yeah, a lot of them did that. A lot of them.
Yeah, like at the time, and again, like nowadays, that would be, you would think that would be fucking crazy, but like back then, it's like
they didn't do any checks. They didn't do any real checks because they just wanted bodies. Yeah. So if you went in there, you were 16, and you said you were 18, and you had some type of document that okay, they took it and they ran you in. My grandfather went in; he was 17. He went in a year earlier. Yeah, he did for World War II.
Damn. Yeah.
Lucifer, I wanted to ask you a question about your perspective. You have your channel. I'll show right here, the Lucifer channel.
Rocking the shit out of that T-shirt, by the way. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hell yeah! And so, like, what I like about your channel is that you're very diverse with the music that you play. You know, you focus on not like a lot of the mainstream stuff, but a lot of the dirty, raw, underground stuff. You play stuff from the heart that you like, and that you like to, and you also expose things that a lot of people haven't heard. So my question to you is this: in the 80s, right? You had extreme metal coming out, in the 70s, rock, in the 90s, death metal, and in the 2000s, you know, it kind of went up and down with the new metal, and then things started to have a reemergence. From a younger person's perspective, in 2024, what do you think is the music right now that stands out the most, that has kind of a grip, that is like the best music right now, that's having its moment?
Oh, that's a damn good question. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for that, though, because I would imagine what music is having its moment is maybe somebody that has more of a foot in the ground of kind of like what I wouldn't really even call it mainstream, but just kind of like what's a bit more popular. I don't get the sense that I really do. I can tell you from an underground perspective, I think now it seems to be that war metal it's definitely like blossomed. It's had like I don't know, like another kind of big bump or whatever you would call it. Death metal, I don't know. One thing I probably would say though, for a little bit more underground, is kind of the kind of death and roll stuff. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that kind of throws that punk edge, like I was talking about Wolf Skull earlier, like Midnight. Yeah. I would say stuff like that. Obviously Wraith, I just saw Exciter, Midnight, and Wraith, and Hellwitch here in Houston. They came, and Wraith is a lot of the sound kind of like Midnight. And a lot of times, like, people will ask in the channel, they're like, have you heard this band? You got to check them out. And I'll check it out. And it's something in the vein of Midnight, just whatever you call that sound. It's not really thrash, but it's kind of like Motorhead meets like Bathory or something. Well, I don't know how else to describe it, but that's
some of those Wraith tracks that were pretty good.
What is it?
I said I heard some of those Wraith tracks from the newer album, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were good live. That style of music, Hell Ripper from the UK plays a real similar style.
Yeah, Hell Ripper good.
Yeah, it's like that kind of black and roll. That's that sound, whatever that is. Yeah. I would say that's probably the bigger thing now. That's still somewhat in the underground, I would say. I mean, Midnight probably is mostly responsible because they tour like fucking crazy. I don't know that they're ever not on tour. It seems like they're never not on tour. They're just constantly, like, I get flyers all the time. I've seen them twice, but I've had the opportunity to see them like 12 times. So
nice.
They're always fucking playing.
They always
I would probably say that.
Show.
Yeah, they do, man. I actually have right here. This is the string from the guitar player for Midnight. So the wife and I have it like rolled up and have a little tag on it. I'm preserving it carefully on top of this monitor. Yeah, because my wife and I are there side by side. We're like front row. And at the end of the show, they like jump down and lean onto the crowd, and like they're making a bunch of noise and ripping the strings off their instruments. And like the guitar player is like leaned up on me like this, and I'm just like holding them up. And my wife just, takes like a selfie real quick, and like he rips the strings off, and I grab one. So they're a fucking fantastic live show. The first time I saw them in Dallas. I went up to Dallas to see them with Creator and Merciful Fate.
Creator.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was a great show.
The first time I saw them live was 2013, and they played at the Maryland Death Fest. And they were destroying the instruments, jumping into the crowd, real energetic. it gave me a feeling of like a little bit Venomish, with the rock and roll, black metal, mix. Like you said, a little even punkish, Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. That's probably what I should have said instead of even Bathory. I would say Venom, like Venom meets Motorhead, is basically Midnight.
Yeah,
and I happen to love Venom and Bathory and fucking Motorhead, so it works for me, man. It was an instant hit when I first found out about Midnight. I listened to it. I was like, oh god, this is fucking great.
Nice.
And I mean, look, I'm going to tell you this. I mean, look, if it wasn't for the fact that I think you gave me a shout out on one of those shorts about coffin text, I never would have found your channel.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, dude. That's good shit.
Barry from that Go Metal, and I was like, "Yo, who the hell is this?" And when I started watching your videos, and I started getting schooled on war metal myself. I mean, like I said, I'm still kind of a rookie, Professor Drew, and I still, I got a couple, little couple over here that I pick up here and there, and so that's why I was like, as long as it's got a goat with a machine gun, I'm good.
That's it. Goat, machine guns, bullet belts. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good sign. You're in the.
That's it.
What does he have? I can't see it.
Front.
Oh, front. Yes, dude. Antichrist Militia. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes, dude. That thing's so fucking good.
Did they release anything else besides this?
Yeah, they have a full length that came out before that. I can't remember what it's called. And I think they've done an EP after that. That was my intro to the band. When I heard Machine Gun Blasphemy and Venom and Salt, I was like, "Oh, dude, this band's fucking great."
It's the one I've been rocking lately.
Proclamation. Oh yeah, was it Imperious Jaws of Fire?
Yeah, from Spain.
Yeah, dude. Proclamations. That's good shit.
You gotta mention these guys.
Blasphemy.
You gotta that label, that anti-human label.
Man.
I try to buy at least once a month because you got to buy in bulks to cut down on the shipping. And they got a lot of war metal bands up.
Yeah, they do, man. There's some damn good stuff on there. That one on cassette, I don't know. So I'm like, I'm jealous over here, man. That's a great fucking EP. That shit's really good.
That's a killer, man. Now that brings me up to a question I wanted to ask you because you're real good. What you call you're real good at war metal. This question has always been asked, and a lot of different opinions on it. Your opinion: who you think created war metal? The what you call the Canadians or the Brazilians?
Oh man, okay. So who I would say created it? I would say like, okay. How about this? I mean, I don't mean to rephrase your question, but could I say what was the first release?
Yes. Or you could say who was doing it first.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to make it easier on myself.
Yeah.
So I would say the first, what I would say is the first official war metal release, as we think of war metal now, would be Blasphemy, Blood Upon the Altar. Mm-hmm. But that is also it's almost misleading in a sense because it leaves out like what I would consider the really fucking close like proto metal that was going on in Brazil, man. That fucking like Sarcophago shit, Volcano. Early, even the early Sepultura, like Bestial Devastation, Morbid Visions. Mm-hmm. Brazil is like one of my go-tos for metal. That's some of my favorite shit. All of South America just does so goddamn good.
Yeah,
just I on my channel I refer to it as blender metal because it's like they take a little bit of everything cool and just mix it all in, man. Yeah, it's all mixed up. It's thrash, black metal, death metal, and it's super aggressive. It's very raw. But that stuff, obviously, if you even ask the guys from Blasphemy, like what was a big influence, they would tell you fucking Sarcophago, like INRI, all that shit that was going on then. They would be like, oh, dude, totally. And I think they just kind of took that and I think added enough of or emphasized enough of the death metal element that it kind of gave us what we think of as war metal. And Blood Upon the Altar, Fallen Angel of Doom, Gods of War, that stuff is, I think those are kind of the, I don't know, Holy Trinity or whatever, or the unholy Trinity of fucking war metal.
Yeah, the unholy.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Rich, you got it?
Yeah. I know you always got your ear to the underground, and I wanted to ask you: are there any record labels that we should look out for that you feel has great underground music, war metal or whatever? Any record labels that stand out for you that you order from, or that we should look out for?
The big one is one that we touched on here, Anti-Human Productions.
Yes.
Probably would be, yeah, for me would probably be the go-to. Nuclear War Now is, especially if you want, I wouldn't say just war metal, but especially if you want war metal. And if you can go to their storefront in West Austin, I've been there a couple of times, talked to Yosuke. He runs Nuclear War Now. Yeah, he's a real cool dude. I'm telling you, you guys would fucking love it there, man. The last time I was there, I was looking through shit, and he just kind of came up and he was like, "Hey, man, got this bin of cassettes." He's like, "You want to look through them?" And he's like, "They haven't been priced yet, but they'll all be like $10-15." I was like, "Okay." He sits it down, and I like happen to, I look through my shit, and then I walk over there to look at it, and I'm looking through, and it's like everything that's a classic from like the late '80s, early '90s, whether it's thrash, death metal, black metal. It's like, dude, all of it's here on cassette in like original pressing.
Wow.
And dude, I'm sitting there like going through it. I'm like, dude, I wish I had like $3,000 that I would just be like, give me this whole fucking box. It's like so good, man. And yeah, they definitely know their shit over there. So Nuclear War Now would be another really good one. Yeah, Anti-Human Productions, really underground. I would say Propaganda. They do really good. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. But those would be a real good place to start. And Goat Throne Records, that's Aaron that runs that, Goat Throne, out of Houston here.
Nice.
That would be a cool one to check out as well.
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah. Sorry, real quick. Head Split Records.
Oh yeah,
out of Oregon.
I ordered from them. Yep.
Yeah. Real cool dudes. It's fucking Dylan is the dude that runs that. Yeah, real good stuff over there.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, Drew, I know you mentioned before about and there was the question was mentioned about war themed bands that you like. Is there any war themed bands that are out now that maybe you dig? Because instead of like maybe some of the older ones.
Okay, so like newer bands that are war themed.
Yeah, like I mean, I got this one here that I got. Remember from Anthony from Metal Mind was pushing them. Daisy Cutter.
Daisy Cutter is real good.
I remember listening to that.
Like this is really really good shit. I mean, it has like more of like a Dismember, like they mix with like Dismember and Creator. That's like, they got together and had a baby and they made Daisy Cutter. So, but it's very very war themed and good shit. So I want to know if there was anything else that was maybe out recent, something similar to this that you digging.
I know there's a band from the States here. I'm trying to remember what state they're from. The band called Entrenched. Yeah. It's kind of like death thrashy. Mm-hmm. It's really, I've played them on live streams before. I'm trying to remember where they're from off the top of my head. Obviously they're really good, and that's newer.
Is it Arizona?
What is it?
Arizona?
Oh, it might be. I know from Nevada. That kind of reminds me because Nevada's close to Arizona. Yeah. Triumph is a war metal band.
Oh,
that is newer. Yeah, they're really fucking good. I couldn't remember. I would have to go look up where Entrenched is from. I know they're from. They're Americans.
Really quick, I see a band Entrenched coming out of Rockville Park, New Jersey. And it says that they're death thrash. And with war.
Okay, what are some of the releases called?
They have a full length here called Preemptive Strike, Endless Occupation, Rise and Grind.
That's it.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Oh, man.
So they're from New Jersey.
Yeah, they're Jersey guys.
Yeah, not they would have been from New York, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's them. For sure. So that would be one. Meinenfeld. I think they're actually from Germany. They do some cool shit. It's all war themed. Man, off the top of my head, I mean, if I dug through the CDs, I'd be like, oh yeah, as soon as it's one of these things, man. As soon as you're done doing one of these like streams, I could go and look, and I'd be like, oh my god, I forgot.
There it is.
Yeah, dude, there's probably like half the fucking rack over there is bands I could think of, but. Yeah, off the top of my head,
if you want to hear some more really good music, go to Drucifer's YouTube channel and hit back some of the old streams, and you'll get a lot of really good songs one after another.
I appreciate that. He's telling the truth, man. I try to play them all. Any of the shit that I review, I try to play from time to time on live streams. That's kind of that was the original point of doing the live streams. Is like, all the copyright stuff. I can't just put an entire song in the middle of a video. So it's like if you come over to the live streams, it's like I'll play some of the shit that I'm talking about. So
yeah, another one I remember you put me on to. I remember it was with this band right here. This was
oh, that shit is
that one's good.
This. I remember you reviewed it, and right away I went onto their Bandcamp and I picked the shit up. Man, this shit was fucking fabulous.
Yeah, and
It's
you can get that
Wormvold, right? Wormvold.
Yeah,
that's how I pronounce it. I looked up in the name. I was just kind of like, is there a certain way to say this? But I think they do a lot of like sci-fi kind of like war themed shit.
Yeah,
but yeah, we do like really fucking good. Yeah,
Wormvold.
Really. Yeah, it's the singer and guitar player is a chick.
Yeah,
and I remember playing that on a live stream, and I was like, I let the song play for a while. And then I was like, oh, by the way, that's a chick on vocals. When you listen to it, I guarantee you're not going to think like, what? You're going to think that's not a fucking chick. No way. It's actually the same chick that's in Rabasa Dad. She doesn't do vocals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but she plays guitar in Rabasa Dad. She's also a member of Church's Side. That's another Texas band I forgot to mention earlier. We were talking about Texas.
Side.
Yeah.
Now thinking about that too, considering with war theme, I think me and you had this conversation, Drew, a while back in one of the streams, where I was saying that there's always a misconception of what is a war metal sound, because there's different types of bands that do war themes. There's some that are just strictly blasphemous. They're basically about Satan and the occult, but it has like a war metal feel, that war metal sound to that thing. So what is it that, like somebody like me who is a new to war metal, what is it that they got to go look for when they saying, oh yeah, that's a war metal? Because like for something like this, I picked this up recently. This band called Blasphemous Commander, and the name of the album is called Bestial War Fallen Angels. It's the guy. It's a war metal band, but they basically they have a blasphemous look. Like their whole thing is more satanic imagery, and stuff like that or whatever. But it has like a war metal sound with some black metal in it or whatever. But,
okay, so I haven't heard that. I'm not familiar with that. Looking at the cover, looking at what you just showed me, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah,
kind of like it's in like the could be camp. For me, I guess the best way that I would describe the sound is it really is taking like the most extreme elements of black metal, the most extreme elements of death metal, and blending those. That's why there's a lot of people. It's not something someone's like that's. I've never heard metal before. You hear somebody that's into metal, they would never say like, "Oh, I started with war metal." Like, I don't think you would ever fucking hear that. No. You're gonna hear somebody that's like, I started with maybe Doom or, I don't know, Sabbath, Slayer, or something like that. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, you know what I started with?" Like, nobody would start with like, hard like grindcore. Nobody's going to start out, I don't think, with, oh yeah, the first album I ever bought was fucking like, a Death Worship EP. I doubt it, or Revenge or something. So I would just say it has that kind of emphasis on like the evil and the atmosphere typically of black metal, but it has a lot of that bottom end and this riff based like death metal, and it's just super fucking aggressive, man. It's almost always blast beats, though I do myself prefer when they do take breaks from that. I think that emphasizes the heaviness, and then they get back into blast beats, that sort of thing. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of when you ask people. The term is not actually its own genre. It's just kind of like a nickname for it. Because when you look these bands up on Metal Archive, it'll never say war metal. It'll say Black Death.
Yeah, it'll say like Black Death with themes of war or something like that.
Yeah, and I think the phrase war metal just comes from the like aggression and attack of it. That's why they call it that. I mean, most of these bands, I don't think the lyrics are even about war. Most of them are about, Satan and I don't know, like ripping the heads off of priests and shit like that, which is, I don't know. Could you say that's black metal or is that death metal? Because there's plenty of death metal bands that do that too, but the emphasis is on the music. I don't think the lyrical themes are really where that title comes from. It's just the onslaught of aggression, and people just eventually started being like, oh, that's that war shit, just because it feels like a war in your head when you're listening to it.
Yeah, like this band here I picked up, Cult of Odium. This thing has, this band, right?
No, I don't, but I love that cover. That's fucking great.
It's got a wolf and all, so it's like listening to it. It's more of like that same thing. It's got more like that black, like more of a black metal style to them. But the theme of it, it's basically got that same thing. So somebody might, this is war metal, and maybe it might not be. You know what I mean? Just because it has a look doesn't necessarily mean it is.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's just one of those things you kind of know when you hear it. That album cover is great though. I love that he's shooting a mounted fucking machine gun through a pentagram.
Yeah, that's just I love it. They put it up again. It's great, man. Look at that shit.
That's the other thing I respect the hell out of. Man, I wish I could do art because dude, so much of the war metal art and even black metal art is dude so good.
See, look, like if you see the inside, look, you see the guys. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, like the guys that they go more with the black metal look. You know what I mean? Like it's like, you know, so it's like, you know, some guys will get a little bit confused with it, but I say, hey, you know what? You know, look, sounds great. And if that's what they are, then that's what they are at that point at the end of the day. Fuck it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You got one, Tom?
No, I was going to tell him that. Have you ever heard of a band called Concrete Wind?
No, Concrete Winds?
Oh,
Primitive Force?
Yeah.
No.
This is like it's war metal. This is good stuff.
I love the album cover. I love the fucking symmetry in the outline, dude. It looks fucking great. I got some OCD. I got some weird OCD for shit like this, man. Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna tell you if you want to. I got this book from Nuclear War Now. Well, Mortaret told me to get it. It's called Zombie Dance Magazines, and this whole book is on Brazilian, what you call war metal bands and other bands from Brazil. This
nice.
Whole, and it comes with 2 CDs that has all the bands on it that are from Brazil at that time. I haven't even got it into the CDs yet. I just recently got it, but he was telling me to get this because he said so far it's real good. Has
dude,
48 interviews in it.
Oh, sweet. No, especially, dude, if it gets into like that old school like Brazilian shit, I would love to check it out because there's got to be so many bands that I've never heard of that play that cool fucking style of metal, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows his shit when it comes to the Brazilian bands and stuff.
Yeah.
And, Rich, you have any question?
Yeah, you know what? I just wanted to shift a little bit off of war metal, right? And just ask you a quick question because the season of Halloween is coming up. We're hitting October in another day. And I noticed behind you, you have a really large collection, it looks, of films. So I'm assuming that you're probably a big horror fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I enjoy it, yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what are some of your favorites that get you in the mood, like that stand out, like some of your classics that you like in horror?
Oh man, so for this time of year, the go-tos would be Phantasm for sure.
Yeah,
dude, especially the first 3, but I got all 5 now on the. I don't know, like they put out some new box or whatever that has all 5, so I would do all of those. Phantasms for sure. Let's see, I'm trying to think what I do last year. We have a tradition in our house, like when Halloween comes, my wife and I we buy a pumpkin. And every horror movie we watch, October is nothing but horror, and we write it with a Sharpie. So and on the 31st, we actually carve it into a jack-o'-lantern. So our pumpkin looks like he's all tatted up, and he sits out on the porch, and it's just covered with fucking horror movies. Man, go-tos. Oh my god, I could be here all fucking day. Day of the Dead, obviously Romero. Any of the Romero stuff would be really good. I'll probably watch. Every other year, I will sit down and watch all the Friday the 13th. Got to make sure, like, if you start with one, you gotta finish it. You got to go through all of them. For fucking classics, I would probably do Mark of the Devil. I like that one.
Mark of the Devil, that's a good one.
Yeah. Mark of the Devil's good. Fuck, dude, there's so many. Let's see, what would be another go-to? I know last year, have you guys ever seen Alice, Sweet Alice?
Yes, that's
an old one.
That has Brooke Shields as a little as a little girl in it.
That's right. Yeah. So some of those like early like proto slashers, we'll watch those. That Black Christmas, obviously.
Love that. That's Bob Clark.
Yeah. So that just trying to think off the top of my head. If we go like creature feature, I actually just watched Jaws again for the 900th time the other day. I was sitting around drinking and I was like, dude, I just gotta watch Jaws. It was on Netflix. I'd probably do Grizzly. Have y'all seen Grizzly?
Yes.
Oh, Grizzly.
Yeah.
You ever seen the sequel?
No, I want to get it because fucking George Clooney and Charlie Sheen are in the sequel, but it never got an official release.
Well, they did now. Screen Factory released it.
That's what I heard, but I never got a hold of it. I've got to see that. I've got to see this fucking grizzly bear killer grizzly bear movie.
But the
George
movie,
Clooney and Charlie Sheen.
You gotta when you watch it, because the movie was never finished.
Right, that's what it was. That's right.
Yeah, and then they added some things here and there to make the running time longer. But it's good. Still, the first one is better, but yeah, it's good to see the sequel.
That was good. Piranha, the original 70s Piranha.
Have you ever watched the sequel to that one?
Which one? Because they've done a few
that has was it, who was it that directed it?
That's the one where they were flying.
Yeah.
Oh no. I can see Barry's face. Like I don't know that I need to see it after seeing Barry's face. Wait a minute. Wait, hold. So they went Tremors. They went Tremors 2. Remember Tremors 2? Like they started flying, right?
Oh,
or was that 3?
No,
I think that was Tremors 3. Yeah, that was 3. They started fucking flying. Okay, never mind. So Piranha beat them like right off the bat. They're like, no, fuck it. These fish are gonna fly.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm with Barry on that one. I might can sit that one out. But if Joker, if you say it's good, I'll watch it.
It has great gore.
Yeah. Not bad. Okay. Yeah, great gore. Hey,
but
dude,
it's director that did it, that went on the what's it called? From Terminator, the original Terminator. Who was the original director of Terminator?
Oh, Cameron?
Cameron did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Really? No shit.
That's right. Yeah, he did do that movie. That was one of his earlier flicks before the Terminator and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I would check that out. Yeah, those are good. The other one I was going to think is The Devil's Reign. I know Revik is a big fan of that one as well. Then I have it on cassette. That's Ernest Borgnine, William Shatner, John Travolta's first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. All that old like evil shit. The Hellraisers, maybe we'll watch those, especially the first one, and I love the third one. Second one's all right, but
Devil's Race,
Devil's Reign.
Yeah, no, the one about I think it's Devil's Race, the one that they're in a SUV and they were racing around and they saw somebody get sacrificed.
Dude, that's the one. Okay, so I remember Revik did a review on that. And I had told him, dude, I had been looking for that movie for so long and I didn't know what it was called. And he explained it and I was like, dude, that's the fucking movie I remember seeing like way back in the day that I never knew the title of.
Yes, Devil's
Race. Okay. Yeah.
But you can get it from, I think, Scream Factory if you could find it. But it's a double, it comes with another movie on it. It's just not by itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the other movie? I'd probably still get it, but
what the other movie was on it, but it doesn't matter the other movie, the one you want to like. That.
Yeah, there's plenty of these that I bought that came in bulk packs where I'm like, yeah, I don't want those. I just want this one.
Yeah. But I got a good question for you. So you prefer American horror or Italian horror?
Oh man, it might depend on. I was gonna say it depends on the era. Like my prime time is 70s and 80s. But I was gonna say American. I was like, but dude, that was the heyday of like great fucking Italian shit. That Lucio Fulci shit, dude. Lucio Fulci Zombie, House by the Cemetery. Dude, oh my god, dude, all that shit's so fucking good. A lot of the Giallo stuff that I've seen is good. I need to dip more into that though. I haven't watched some of that. I've seen. I don't know. That's not Giallo, but one that came to my mind, Pieces. The movie Pieces.
They consider it Spanish Giallo.
Oh, do they? Okay.
It's in the book of when what you call it. I get your email, I'm gonna send you a list of Giallos and stuff. There's a book out there that has all the Giallo movies, worldwide Giallos, and then Pieces is in it.
Oh, cool.
Consider it as a Spanish Giallo.
Yeah.
So
I know that. Yeah, there's a lot of good shit over there, but I mean, there's a lot of real good. Obviously, there's a lot of real good American shit, man. I could probably name you more American shit than the other, but I do like the other for sure. I do like Italian. There's good fucked up movies from like everywhere. There's good English shit from the 60s and 70s. It's all over the place, man. I guess it would depend. You'd probably have to like narrow it down to a film, and then I'd be like, oh, that was a good one, or I haven't seen it, But
do you consider Psycho to be the first slasher movie?
Definitely in the proto slasher camp. It would be like. I think it would probably be fair, man, because what are the criteria to be a slasher? Okay, so like somebody obviously gets, is getting killed, but the killers, there's like a mystery around who it is, right? Isn't that kind of If that's a prerequisite for a slasher, then yeah, Psycho has to take it.
It's always a knife involved.
Yeah.
Is
getting slashed, but I know one of them but again, this is well after Psycho. That's what makes Psycho so different, man. Is like it came out at a time like who else was doing anything like this? But one of them that's considered like the proto slasher stuff that started the boom even before Halloween would have been Black Christmas, like I mentioned. Alice, Sweet Alice would have been another one. But you think about that, even then, like dude, Psycho was like quite a ways before all that.
Yeah,
it would have to be. That would at least be a proto slasher. It's almost like when you talk about metal and everybody's like, well, Black Sabbath made metal, and I would agree. It's like, but if you look at proto metal, you have like, Deep Purple was doing some stuff. Mm-hmm. You have fucking Blue Cheer was doing some like heavier stuff. Jimi Hendrix did some heavier stuff, but it's like, but once you get to Sabbath, you're like, okay, this is definitely kind of where we draw a line.
Godfathers right there.
Yeah. So with slasher movies, you can kind of look at it and just be like, once you get to Halloween, you're like, okay, this is kind of like its own thing. And then you can kind of see why the 80s was full of fucking slashers. So yeah, I think it's fair, man. I would say it's not a wrong answer to say Psycho. Definitely deserves some credit for sure.
Yeah. Right. Imagine those people in the 60s when their mind when they saw that. They must
and I heard that Hitchcock would not let people in the theaters if they were late.
Yeah, that I heard too.
If anybody was trying to come in late, they would like stop them at the doors, like you got to go to the next showing or whatever. They would not let them in, and they were trying to be like real tight on like letting the secret out of the obvious big twist of the movie.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, speaking of which, Drew, considering the fact that you are a war-themed person yourself, give your 5. It says we're talking about movies. Your 5 greatest war movies.
Oh, that's good.
War movies. Oh man, war movies. I would have to say right now I'm watching it again for the second time. Just again, kind of off the top of my head. All this quiet on the Western Front.
Okay,
that's World War One. That one's really good. 1917 was all right. I wasn't as fucking crazy about it. Most of the rest of them are probably going to be World War II movies, but I would say Full Metal Jacket.
Love that.
Classic.
Yeah, I like parts of Apocalypse Now, but just generally as a movie, I think it's overrated.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess it was hyped up so much, and then when I saw it, I was like, why is Robert Duvall only in here for like 10 minutes? He got to be in this whole fucking thing. It's like a 3-hour movie, and I think there was too much fluff in it. But World War II, probably Saving Private Ryan would probably be in there.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great movie.
Let me think, man. I do like Enemy at the Gates. Enemy at the Gates is good. I do have beefs with it though. I kind of wish I would rather it be subtitled.
In the Gates. That's a very underrated movie. You don't hear people talk about that one.
Yeah, it's Jude Law. They're from they're Russians. My only beef with it, dude, is it's a nitpick. I really just wish that you had like that same story, same movie, everything, but you had actual like Russian actors. I don't know. There's something about like when I hear the communists speaking English, I'm like.
That kills it, right?
Yeah. It's like when I see Valkyrie with Tom Cruise, it's like it's a cool movie, but it's like, he's doing like a straight up American accent and like Hitler's speaking English and the councils and the Germans, and I'm like, it just kind of takes me out a little bit, man. Fake this shit, subtitle it. I don't give a fuck what you do, but I don't know. I'm a nerd for shit.
I guess something, you know what I mean. I usually dig into like some of the war movies. Like I'm a big fan of like go back to the Revolutionary War with Mel Gibson's The Patriot. That The Patriot is fucking fantastic. And the second one he did When We Were Soldiers, the Vietnam story. Yeah, I remember going to the theater to watch that shit from front to back, and then seeing the original story of the man he portrayed. That he's talking about how good they portrayed that movie so well when they were trying to take that hill. And Hamburger Hill. Hamburger Hill
is a good one there.
I'll tell you another one that's a newer one is that Hacksaw Ridge movie.
Oh, yeah.
You guys seen that?
Nice.
Dude, I remember like I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is a bit dry. Then like the second half happens and it's like, holy shit, dude. It's like motherfuckers cut in half and stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And damn, what was the name of the movie with this guy, Nicolas Cage?
Wind Talkers.
Oh, Wind Talker, right?
Oh,
John Woo, right?
Man, that was fantastic, man. That was a fantastic movie. And, you know, them talking about the Navajo doing the coke talking and all that. Oh, that was great, man. Poor Christian Slater got his head chopped off. Oh well.
Yo, Bear, you're missing one of the best war movies.
What's that?
Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Yo, dude, come on, man.
How did you forget that?
Yeah.
Rebellion. Come on, dude. You can't go wrong.
Well, let me ask y'all just on Star Wars. All right, so what is the single best Star Wars movie? Okay, let's go. Can we go? I'm going to interview the three of you guys right here. Okay,
here we go.
We're going to go in a row. We're going to start with Barry, then we're going to go to Rich, and then we're going to go to Joker. All right, the single best Star Wars movie. Go.
Empire Strikes Back.
Rich.
Okay. You know something? I'm a fan of the first three. Star Wars is great. Empire Strikes Back really stands out. Return of the Jedi, a little so-so. So I got to go with The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Joker?
Me is Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, so
me to it. It was great.
Awesome. I'm glad that everyone on this stream gave the right answer, because the right answer is Empire Strikes Back. The greatest fucking movie ever made is Empire Strikes Back. That's, for me, my personal favorite.
If we got to go a little modern with when they did the prequels, I'll say Revenge of the Sith was right under there, because that was one of the darkest ones there out of that prequel shit.
I would say of the prequels,
Rogue One.
Rogue One was fantastic,
dude. Dude, everybody I talked to hates Rogue One, and I was like, dude, that's probably in my lifetime since I've been born. I was like, that's probably the best, because I'm not a fan of the prequels. I'm not a fan of the sequels for fucking sure. Any of the new stuff, I didn't fucking watch, but Rogue One, I was like, dude, that's actually a damn good fucking movie.
That's what I said.
The fact that you had that scene with Vader just chopping up these people in the freaking thing for a minute,
hugging the walls and shit with them.
Yeah. The movie was good anyway, but when you do that part with Vader, it's like, oh yeah, hands down. Agreed. That was great. That was fantastic. That was the only movie Disney put out that was like, yeah, I could sit there and watch over and over. It was good. I mean, the whole thing that they did and how it led up. I mean, there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that they didn't put in. I mean, if you remember the original trailer, there was a scene where I forgot the girl's name, where she was outside and there was a TIE fighter that popped up right in front of her. They didn't put that scene in there. There was a couple of scenes that they didn't put in, which I thought would have just been great. But all right, well, maybe we'll get a director's cut one day.
But also, maybe just thinking about this here, one of the reasons that we might all like Rogue One more than some of the other ones, and we love Empire Strikes Back, is one common theme they have is they both end on a very down note.
Yep.
It both ends on some fucking dark shit, man.
Yeah. Same thing with Revenge of the Sith. Same shit. Yeah. Ends with that. Yeah. No, the good guy doesn't win.
Yeah. Here we are, a bunch of fucking metalheads. We're just like, the good guy's not supposed to win.
That's right, man. Same way with when I talk about, when we talk about horror movies, I say I'm a big fan of satanic movies, man. Satan doesn't make bad movies. Maybe
he doesn't.
But he doesn't make bad movies.
Yeah, movies or music. The devil knows what's up. That's for sure.
Oh man, but Drew, thinking about everything now, as far as you've been doing your stuff and music and your channel, you got your family. How has that been as far as your family wise? I mean, I'm sure your wife is very supportive of everything you do, but how much support do you get from your family when it comes to your music and your channel?
Oh, I mean, certainly like a lot for fucking music, man. Like, because I say my wife is not like a metalhead, but she goes to every show with me. Like, we're about to go to see Deicide and Christian. She goes every show that I play, every show that like I go to and stuff. She's like, yeah, let's go, because she knows that I love it. She's supportive of this, but she doesn't, she's like in the other room with the baby. But even then, like, the only thing I will hear is I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this thing with Barry. Is like, who's Barry? Who is she? She fucking like, who is she? Like that fucking commercial.
You trying to show my stuff? What's wrong with you?
Like that fucking commercial where the wife's like, she sounds hideous. I'm like, well, she's a guy. That's it. That's me talking about fucking Barry. As like, my phone will blow up and it'll be like our group chat. It's like, is that Barry? Yeah.
That's happened to me. My wife's, I know she's walking back and forth. That's happened to me a few times where we because you guys are on the West Coast and the phone starts blowing up on chats and she goes, who's that? Who's that? I said, sweetie, it's the chat. Who? And I said, it's Trevor, Drucifer, and Paul. Yeah, and I have to like show it to her. So she, well, tell them it's late.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like an ongoing joke here. If like the phone will go off, is like, is that Barry? Is that Barry again? That's just kind of like how she knows the chat. But yeah, dude, she's great, man. She's super supportive. She's a fantastic mom. Like I would say, like, I mean, if I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, I mean, she's not really a big even like music person. She listens to music, but it's, you know, she's like a real casual listener. But I'm thinking from her perspective, I was like, man, this chick must really love me, because if I had to go to a bunch of these bullshit like pop shows, I was like, man, I probably would have tapped out like a long time ago.
Gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have the spies there taking pictures of you in the Taylor Swift concert.
Oh yeah. Well,
Please.
here's the great news, because she would go see Taylor Swift at Taylor Swift game. The great news is I can't afford those fucking tickets. So I have like, dude, I'm telling you, these motherfuckers. I'm used to going to metal shows. These motherfuckers are like, for decent seats, it's like damn near $1,000 per ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're out of your fucking mind, man. That's a huge chunk out of the goddamn mortgage payment, dude. I'm not going to go see fucking. So I can argue my way out of that. I am taking her to see late in October high school bands that she liked. Are you guys familiar? God, I'm gonna get roasted so hard in the chat for this, because I will be there. Stained.
I think I've heard of that band. Yeah.
Oh wow, I actually got off kind of light. I thought I was gonna get ripped over. Yeah, Barry knows.
Yeah.
Stained and Breaking Benjamin.
Oh, I've heard of the name too. I wouldn't be caught at those shows, but I've heard of the name.
Hey, you know what? I deserve that. I deserve that roast. But I'm like, hey, look. She goes with me to all these fucking shows. I was like, wherever she wants to go. These are actually shows she wants to go to that I can actually afford. So I'm like, dude, I will sit through Stained. I'll sit through Breaking Bad. I'll be the motherfucker. I'll be the motherfucker there in a Conqueror t-shirt, but I will be there at fucking Stained and Breaking Bad for my wife. That's how much.
Listen, I haven't heard those bands, but I'd rather watch that than Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd rather sit
that's fair.
than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and at least for Staying and Breaking Bad, at least those tickets are like affordable. That fucking Taylor Swift shit. Like when she shows me that, I just start laughing. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
like, dude,
that shit is a fucking cult, bro. Those
yeah, but dude, my thing is, if I was ever to go on my own to one of those, I was like, they would have to pay me these prices to get me to fucking go. Front row Taylor Swift, or some of these rappers or whatever. Like, oh, dude, no, you have to pay me. My ass ain't going.
But what if somebody gifted you those tickets? Then what? You wouldn't.
Well, hold on. If they gifted me those tickets, I could probably sell them for a profit. So I'd probably do that.
Probably sell them and probably pay you more.
If your wife finds out, what happens then? It's like,
okay. Well, so if somebody gifted us tickets to, let's just say Taylor Swift, if somebody gifted us the tickets for that, and they were like good seats, I would definitely go with her. To me, that's an easy way out. I was like, okay, I'll be out or whatever, and I'll just, I'll probably put in like Bluetooth earbuds and be listening to some shit on my phone and just keep it in my pocket.
Yeah. Look at she's singing.
Yeah. But I'll give you an idea. Take the tickets and sell them, and with the money, then you could go to the Nuclear War Now store and get all those cassettes that
you got. Look at Rich over here. Fucking Rich is like, these motherfuckers are playing checkers. This shit's chess, man. We're gonna take that money. We're gonna go to Nuclear War Now and we're gonna go buy Sodom's In the Sign of Evil original vinyl pressing. That's what we're gonna do.
No, this is not good, Drew. Now then your wife's gonna see this replay. She's gonna look, that rich guy, I don't want you talking to him.
Don't worry, I'll purposely text you in the middle of the night. Who is it?
Good man. I'll just say it's Barry. Don't worry about it.
Blame it on Barry.
You get blamed for everything. Yeah, that's what it is. So at least your wife could see my cuteness right here. So she, all right. Yes. Oh my God. But Drew, let me ask you, man. As far as everything that's been going on, when we now we're getting into the channel realm, as far as our channels and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. How's things been as far as relating to the like to our channel and to Kai and to Trevor and everybody else? I mean, how's that been going? As far as dealing with all of us in general. I mean, have we been the biggest pain in the asses in the world, or is there love there? I mean, I'm just curious.
No, it's cool, man, because it's almost like if you watch some of these comedy shows or series on Netflix or anything like that, you know how you have all these different characters, and they're all just fucking characters, is what they are. Like, you would think, like, well, somebody would actually have to write for people to be like this, just like have their own niche or whatever. But I guarantee you, like, at this point in our group chat between me, you, Shred, and Paul, I don't even have to see your name to know who said what they said. And it's like just an empty fucking like sentence or whatever. Somebody could say something, I'd be like, oh, that's Paul. or somebody could send a GIF and I'd be like, that's fucking Barry. You know, and the same with Shred, dude. Like everybody's cool as shit. Like I say, dude, everybody that I've met from online has been awesome. You know, we haven't, none of us have like hung out in person. I was like, but I can guarantee you at this point, with as much shit has been talked and like memes and videos and all that shit going on in the chats, man, is everybody's fucking cool. I mean, that goes with the people that show up at the shows or at the, like I'm saying, like the live shows when I'm doing like streams and shit. Like everybody's just, we kind of all just have this same kind of interest, but everybody's a fucking character. It's so bizarre. And they're all interesting characters. Everybody's like, man, I could just pick this guy's brain for fucking ever. Like we were just talking about horror earlier.
Yeah.
Like, man, we could all, how long could we go on just horror movies?
Oh, forget it.
And that's not even touching in the fucking metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned Phantasm. I caught PTSD. I mentioned about we mentioned in the last stream with Vincent Crowley. We talked about Phantasm. I can't discuss that movie without getting PTSD about that ball and then the tall man getting his finger cut off in yellow mustard and how I couldn't eat that shit for years. And
oh yeah,
can't mess with that, man.
Classic. Great stuff, man. Great stuff, man. Those
totally. So do you have anything that you want to like plug, or any like social media or promotional things, you know, like any upcoming stuff that, you know, that people should know about? Merch?
As of right now, yeah, I mean, yeah, Barry saw all the fucking merch. The only reason my channel has any goddamn merch, the only reason there's any Iron Casket t-shirts, any of that, you can thank Barry, man. Barry came to me with the ideas for all that. The shirt Rich is wearing here, that Iron Casket shirt in the back, the Iron Casket shirt in the back, I mean, Barry fucking designed. And this one, Barry was like, hey, maybe we'll make a shirt. It's all available fucking online, all that. Thanks to fucking Barry, man. Barry's the man on that.
I try, man. I try.
Hey, you do great. Yeah, that right there, that was the Barry design.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, but that one was more of like a pre-design, because that you wanted the one with the whole soldier in the back. You wanted the two-sided shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's two different versions of that shirt, but again, thanks to fucking Barry, those are available, you know, so.
And of course, don't forget, we got our cute little, you know, young Drucifer shirt, you know.
Yeah, the wife's got that. I was telling her the other day, like I was sitting there folded, I was like, because when we first got it in, I was like, I got to get a picture of you in this because I've got to put it up. She's like, yeah, it's just we've done this stuff with the kid, we went on vacation and all this kind of shit. Thank you for reminding me, because I saw it in there in the walk-in closet. Okay. Her little section, I saw it. It's a small section, but I can still notice that Drucifer t-shirt
right, man,
that Barry made.
I'm glad she enjoys it, man. I'm glad she enjoys it.
Yeah, cool. We appreciate it.
All right, man. So, Tony, you got anything else?
Well, I got a little question here to see how Drew feels about this. If you had a choice now to go on tour with a 3 war metal bands, which ones would they be?
Oh, I would rather play shows with them than go on tour. I have no interest in going on tour. But if I were to do some show, let's say we did a tour, but the tour was around like maybe Texas.
Yes,
I can't. Yeah, because for me, I really just I can't be away from like my kid for more than like a day, and then I'm just like going crazy. So for me, if I was going around here, top ones I would want to do. How many bands?
3.
Okay, so 3 other bands besides.
Yes, besides you, you'll be the 4th band.
Okay, Antichrist Siege Machine.
Yes,
I would definitely play with them. Those dudes from Virginia, they're fucking maniacs. Death Worship would be another one. I would love to do. I would have said Goat Penis, but Goat Penis isn't around anymore, so I would say Diocletian.
Okay.
Top of the head.
Seen War Machine?
What's up?
Have you seen War Machine live?
No.
No? No? Oh man, I saw them here in Brooklyn. The killer.
Oh, you talking about Antichrist Siege Machine?
Yeah, Siege Machine. Okay. Sorry.
No. I missed it when Revik and I first started talking. They came to Houston, but I had to work that night, and I missed them coming here. But I'm over here like a fucking idiot, just being like, dude, they're from Virginia. They'll come through. I haven't come through since. I haven't been able to fucking see them.
They just them two, and then with they do this like fog thing going. Oh, bro, they're killer.
Yeah, I've seen some of the interviews. I've seen the live shows and stuff. I would love to see them, but since then I haven't been able to see them. And I also missed, because I had to work, I missed Death Worship played in Austin, and Revik went to that fucking show, and he was like, "Oh, that was great." I'm like, I fucking missed that one too.
You know who came, and I kind of been digging them lately, and I missed it. Primitive Warfare.
Oh yeah, they're good, man. Yeah, I haven't seen them live, but I know the album is like, they just put out Extinction Protocol. That album that's in my top 5 of 2024, man. That shit is
great. Hard.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I have the CD. I need to review it at some point. I've had it for over a month now.
Yeah, but you going to DSI? I had tickets for the DSI show here. Yeah, I had to wind up working late that night and missed the show.
Oh, bummer. Yeah. I'm going to that. I've never seen Christian live. I've seen DSI live, but I've never seen Christian. And Christian's fucking. You talk about good Brazilian shit, man. Christian's fucking great.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask you
this.
You
got anything, Rich?
I think I'm good. I went through most of my questions. I think I'm good on my end.
I got one more. And we asked this to Vincent Crowley. I guess we'll ask you this. What is some of the non-metal that you might be into? Or that you get bands, groups, whatever. What is it that you're into that's non-metal?
You mean besides Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Besides... No Stain and Breaking Benjamin.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna catch so much shit for having to go to that, but it's worth it. It's for a good cause. I think of it like a charity, you know. It's for the misses. Non-metal stuff. Would hard rock count?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If hard rock counts, there was this band that I love. They're an instrumental band. They broke up about a decade ago. The band is called Serpent Throne. It's all instrumental. It's basically like the heavier side of like Zeppelin, Sabbath, and maybe even like the heavier side of maybe like even like Aerosmith, that kind of classic rock. No vocals, and it's all like instrumental. That band is fucking great. I have everything they've done on vinyl, CD, and everything. That one's worth checking out. Buckethead, I mentioned. Buckethead's fantastic. He's got some of the stuff that would fall in like the metal camp, but a lot of his shit doesn't. A lot of his shit is kind of ambient and really just kind of like relaxing. Other stuff, I actually really like old blues, like Depression era blues, shit like Sunhouse, Skip James, Booker White.
Nice.
Later on, like the Electric Chicago blues, like Muddy Waters. Nice. Yeah, stuff like that. I love that kind of shit. Trying to think who else I would think off the top of my head. Again, I think there's something big that I'm missing here, but can't put my finger on it. But yeah, those would definitely be some. I like a lot of that like bluesy shit.
You like a lot of instrumental albums?
Love them.
You ever heard of a band called Earthless?
Yes. Is it Earthless? That is the song. They have one song called is it Uluru Rock? I think is the name of the song. I got one of their albums. It's Red.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the
like really long extended songs, like very jammy, very psychedelic. You know?
It really has like a foot in its camp of like a stoner rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that, but it's just instrumental, and like they'll go on with leads and shit. Yeah, like I love stuff like that. I used to read books to that stuff all the time, like science books. I'd be like reading like Carl Sagan books and just listening to like bands like you said, Earthless, the band Earth. It's doom band, but there's a band called Toner Low, where it's all like super heavy, like real fucking like heavy shit, but it's all really slow and it's just kind of like drones on. Shit like that. But that would fall into the metal camp. But yeah, I love a lot of shit like that, dude. I love like just guitar playing. I love there's something about that instrument that I can listen to, even if it's shit like with my mom's side. She listens to stuff like the Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, stuff like that, and I can sit there and jam it. Like I can sit there and listen to it. I don't play it, but I can sit there and listen to it. And I'm like, I get it. Like, it makes sense to me. So just any of that stuff. There's plenty of like easy listening shit. I'm not a metal or nothing guy. I just this is definitely like 95+% of my time is in the heavy shit. That's where my heart is. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I love guitar based music.
I don't know if we asked you this, but who's your personal favorite guitarist of all time?
Oh man, I was
gonna ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say if I narrowed it down, I don't know if I could do a top of all time. I think the best living guitar player alive right now is Buckethead, but Andy LaRocque from King Diamond is like way up there for me, man. When I finally got to see King Diamond live like a decade ago, it like that really like put the emphasis on it. I was like, okay, so not only is he like a god on wax, like live, fucking flawless, man. He's so good.
I love
guys like
that album, man. When he did,
dude. When he did Individual Thought Patterns,
I was fucking.
Dude. The guest solos on that, dude. That's fucking phenomenal, man. He's so good. Old school guys, Randy Rhoads, obviously Zach Wilde. That being like the foot in the door for me. That was a big one.
What about Tony Iommi?
Love Tony Iommi. That's. I used to have a shirt that was just a picture of Tony Iommi and it just said God in big letters like over the front of him.
That's cool.
I'm a Sabbath junkie, man. I can at any time I can put Sabbath on and I'm good to go. Whether even if it's Dio Sabbath or Ozzy Sabbath. But I mean
me, right?
All what is it?
Oh, that's me. I love Black Sabbath. That's all I got that was my favorite band.
Yeah.
What you call it? Do you like Iron Maiden?
Yeah, I like especially the early Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I don't like. I mean, the bulk of Iron Maiden's career is stuff I don't give a fuck about. But anything up to like Somewhere in Time, like all of that from the first Maiden, I'm more of a Di'Anno guy. But any of those up till Somewhere in Time, I'm like that shit's fucking gold.
So 80 to 87, right?
Yeah, right around in there. Was it 80? Was 86 or 87? Somewhere around in there. Around the time that I came out. I was born in 87.
Because that's when they do the 50th anniversary tour. They're gonna basically cover from 80 from the first album all the way to Somewhere in Time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude. Any of that stuff for me is fucking great for different reasons. Obviously, Somewhere in Time sounds way different than like Killers. Killers is like my go-to, man. That's for me that's like one of the best metal albums like ever. But all of it, it's great, but it's kind of like great for different reasons. But I love it. I have all that shit, vinyl, CD, all that. That's really good stuff. Classic, man.
Awesome, man. Fucking awesome.
What about Judas Priest? You're into them too?
I fucking love Judas Priest. I've seen Priest live like 3 times. Man, it would be hard to pick like a favorite album. My favorite stuff is like anything like late 70s, early 80s. So like my go-to would be Stained Class, but I would also do
Interesting.
Shocked because you liking hard. I thought you would pick Painkiller.
Yeah, I love Painkiller. Painkiller's great. Yeah. But dude, for me, Stained Class, like Heroes End, Beyond the Realms of Death, Saints in Hell. Like, fuck, man, these songs they're so goddamn good.
You're the man. True.
That I would say the only one I would say the most overrated of Priest is actually British Steel, which is like the biggest fucking one.
Yeah.
Not that it's a horrible album. I'm not saying that. It's like, dude, that band, the stuff they did before that and the stuff they did after, I think is just it dwarfs it. It's like Defenders of the Faith with some heads are gonna roll, like Free Will Burning and all that shit. It's like, dude, that's where it's at, man.
Wow, that's great.
Love it. Yeah. Love Priest, especially like classic era Priest.
Awesome. Fucking awesome. Yeah, you guys are good?
Yes.
I think we got a lot of stuff in, man. Thank you for joining us today and thank you for giving us a little time. And, everybody tune into Drusifer's channel on YouTube. Great stuff. Check out his band, Iron Casket, and we look forward to the future and we're looking forward in anticipation for that Revik / Drusifer EP coming out soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for having me, dude. It's been my pleasure. For real. This is great.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. Again, make sure you check out the man, Drusifer. Check him out. All right. The freaking he's just awesome. He just gives you knowledge of war metal and everything else in between. And that is why he is the Minister of War.
Yes.
All right, this is Barry, That Goat Metal Show, along with Rich, the silent producer, and Tone, Joker NYC. We want to thank you for joining us. This is Barry, That Gold Metal Show again. Stay brutal.